Hello guys, this is our first video on Arduino, the basics of Arduino Uno. This is how a Arduino Uno looks like. This is the front part and this is the back part. The pin connections: a USB pin, external power pin, a 3.3 volt pin, a 5 volt pin, two ground pins here, a ground pin here, a V-in pin, analog pins, digital pins, a LED, inbuilt LED here, a Atmega microcontroller. This is basically the heart of Arduino Uno. Now let us have a detailed view about the pins. USB pin. This is used to upload code to Arduino via computer or laptop. It also provides power to the Arduino. It basically provides a power of approximately 9 volt to 12 volt from the laptop. Also, the code that you write in the Arduino IDE is uploaded to the Arduino via laptop using this port. External power supply. You can either use this to power up the Arduino or use the power supply external power supply pin to power up the Arduino Uno. You can use a battery between range of 7 volt to 12 volt to power it up. This is the adapter that you use. I would recommend you to use a 9 volt power supply. The power pins: 3.3 volt pin, a 5 volt pin, a V-in pin. These are the power pins in Arduino Uno. The V-in pin, it can be used to supply power to the board or access the external power supplied through the battery of 7 volt to 12 volt. That is, the whole voltage that is applied to the power pin can be taken out or used from this V-in pin. The 3.3 volt pin, it is used to supply a 3.3 voltage of output. The maximum current drawn from here is 50 milliamperes. So make sure you read the component specifications whether it needs 50 milliamperes or less than that or more than that. The 5 volt pin, it gives out a regulated output of 5 volts. You can also use it to supply power to the board, but it may damage the board, so please don't use it. The ground pins, the negative pins or the ground pins which I showed you before. The IRF pin, you can read it. It can provide output between 5 volt to 3.3 volt. The analog pins. Pin number A0, A1, A2, A3, A4 and A5. These are the analog pins. They provide 2 raised to 10, that is 1024 different values. By default they measure 5 volts. That is, if you plug in anything here, a 5 volt output will be given. But you can configure it using a ARF pin, that is analog reference voltage pin. Just like the analog pins, you have the digital pins here. The digital pins can be used to connect digital components like LEDs. These waveforms that you see on pin number 3, 5, 6, 9, 10 and 11, they denote that they are PWM pins, that is pulse width modulated pins. You can use these pins to give varying signals. For example, if you want to control the speed of a motor, or you want to control the intensity of light, you can use this pin. The serial pins, that is the pin number 0 and pin number 1, they are the serial pins. They are used to transmit or receive data. So as you see here, this is the receiving pin, RX pin, pin 0, and this pin number 1 is the TX pin or the transmitting pin. So let us take an example of a Bluetooth module. A Bluetooth module has 4 pins: a voltage pin, a ground pin, a TX pin and RX pin. So the data that will be transmitted from the Bluetooth module from TX pin will be given to RX pin, and the data that is transmitted by Arduino from TX pin will be given to RX pin of Bluetooth module. external interrupts. Pin number 2 and 3, they can be used as interrupt. You will learn about this later on. LED, which I showed you before, there is an inbuilt LED written as L. You can use it to run small applications like blink program or to check whether the Arduino is working correctly or not. A two-wire interface, A for a SDA pin, A5 or SCL pin. These provide two-wire interface using the wire library. The ARF pin, which I told you before, it provides reference voltage for the analog inputs. By using this pin, you can configure the output from the analog. For example, if you want 5 volt, you can configure it using ARF pin, or if you want 2 volts or 9 volts, you can configure it using ARF. The reset pin, there's a reset button on the Arduino as well as a reset pin. You can use it to reset the Arduino if the code is not working properly. The Atmega 328P, this is the heart of the Arduino Uno. It is basically a microcontroller, and it has 32 KB of flash memory, 1024 bits of electronically erasable programmable read-only memory, 2 KB of SRAM, that is static RAM, 23 general purpose input output lines, and many things. This is basically the CPU of Arduino, just like you have for your laptop or desktop. You can read it here. I'll wait for a minute. Let us revise what I just told you. A USB pin to plug in, a power supply pin, reset pin and a reset button here, 3.3 volt pin, a 5 volt pin, ground pins, voltage input pin, analog pins, the microcontroller or the heart of Arduino, the ICSP in circuit serial programmer, serial in, serial out, the digital pins, the digital ground pin just like these pins, a ARF pin, analog reference pin. Thank you for watching this video. Do like the video and subscribe to our channel Team Onyx. If you have any queries regarding this video, you can revert to us on teamonix.tk. Thank you so much. See you again.